Okay, so after giving things a little more thought, specifically about the characters of Wish, basically I wanted to do a review part two, I guess, of this. And I know I am in the minority opinion of liking this film, but let me clarify that I don't specifically like this film because I think it's good. I like it because of very personal reasons. I will admit that I watched this film in a bit of a bad headspace, so I was looking for something to cheer me up no matter how cheesy or how shallow it was. And for what it Wish was, that worked for me. But the thing is that I also wanted to go over how I think the characters make and break this movie. What I mean by that is specifically you're looking at the title of the video, so you know who I'm gonna start with. But I think the characters, specifically Asha, I believe that they are what make and break the movie in terms of if you are a fan of them, then you will be a lot easier on this movie than if you can't stand the characters, then you're definitely going to be more inclined to give it an even lower score in terms of ratings and how much you enjoyed the film. So basically, let me talk about Asha a little bit to explain my point. So, I think Asha is a great Disney princess in a not so good movie. And basically, in a nutshell, the reason why I think Asha is actually a really good princess, I explained a little bit in the last video about how basically I think she has a lot of drive and passion, and that drive and passion never really changes throughout the film, despite the fact that she does learn how to basically not let her fears of letting people down or making mistakes stop her from following those passions that she has. But the thing is that that was in the last video, but what I wanted to talk more about here is specifically how Asha and her relationship with her family and friends is really important. Basically, in a nutshell, to put it in meme terms, this is one of those things where you would see the meme about get you a friend or a lover or whatever that loves you like insert name here. Um, Basically, the thing is that I wish they went in a little more depth on specifically the relationships between Asha and the other characters, especially her family and friends. But the thing is that the fact that Asha is the type of person that really doesn't want to let anybody down or hurt anybody, specifically because she feels like what her passions and desires are a direct reflection of herself. So if those things cause harm to other people, that's the one thing that can make her second guess herself. But the thing is that she still pushes for what she believes in, and by the end of the film, people are on her side. And it's not just because the King Magnifico is just evil, it's more so because of the fact that she is able to inspire people like what her Saba wants to do. And the thing is that specifically with her parents, for example, and one scene that did really bother me at first until I realized its purpose later on, was specifically the scene where Asha tries to tell her Saba about the wish that he has that he at the time of the film can't remember. So the thing is, in that moment, the Saba actually gets angry and basically says, are you trying to hurt me here? Are you trying to tell me something that's going to never happen, basically, and now I'll have to live with the pain of knowing the truth that will never really come to be. um the thing is that while I could understand where he was coming from, I've always had a problem specifically with character relationships where they have a good relationship already, but just for the sake of plot convenience, the thing is that they will make the characters assume that this other person that they've known for a long time and clearly have had a good relationship with is suddenly trying to hurt them. That just never made any sense to me, and I would always hate that when I would see that happen in any media. A good example of this would be one episode of The Equalizer where the main character's daughter basically accuses um her mom basically of specifically saying that she would torture her or something, in terms of like legit torture. I'm not talking like metaphorical or whatever. Legit torture her because of her line of work. And the thing was that, I mean, of course, the mom had a bad reaction to that, but I was thinking to myself, oh, yeah, that's totally justified because there is nothing that this mom has done to actually prove her right in terms of saying that she would hurt her daughter. And by her daughter accusing her of being willing to do that to her, sorry if this isn't making sense, but I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. Two characters that have had a great relationship and they find out something, or the character does something, and then all of a sudden they're accusing each other of trying to hurt each other when in reality they would never do that. Um, so now that we have those two examples, in the movie Wish specifically, we had something that was actually purposeful in doing that, because in terms of Asha's development as a character, she has to realize that her wish of simply wanting people to know the truth and to be able to do what they will with that truth is pretty much jump started by that conversation with her Saba. And the thing is that it was definitely something that in the moment it felt wrong, but as the movie progressed and we saw Asha realize how much wishes make up who a person is, not from what Magnifico tells her, but specifically seeing the wishes of other people and how much potential they have, good potential, not bad potential. Um, Basically, it all comes from that realization of no of her sticking to her morals of basically saying this people need to know the truth even if it might hurt them. And that that is literally what sparks the little star character from coming from the sky and coming down to her to help her out. So literally magic came from that moment. So that's my example of Asha. But also, before I move on to the side characters, specifically, I also wanted to mention with Asha that I know a lot of people were saying that the ending scene when Magnifico is defeated was super over the top. No one likes a problem being solved by just singing. Um, and but I mean, to be completely honest with the lore of this movie, it's practically non-existent. But the thing is that what we do establish at the beginning of the film is that literally the power of wishes is a tangible thing, and it's something that can overtake people. So I mean, literally, it's it makes sense that everyone singing their deepest wish would work in the end to solve the problem. But I mean, people just, I don't know, people just don't like the idea of a problem being solved by a song. And I understand why, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is one of those times where it was actually fitting. Um, but Asha, in that moment, when she starts the song and she tries so hard to explain why she believes that the people around her are stars and the people around her are the only it's the only thing that can actually turn things around. Um, this probably would have been an even better moment if we would have known more about the specific powers of the dark magic that was taking over the king in the moment. But the thing is that mm, it was definitely something that I feel like really showed Asha's biggest strength in terms of her inspiring other people and getting people to actually follow her lead. I mean, so many people complain about Disney princesses not being actual good leaders. Like I've heard that complaint before. And the thing is that getting people to rally behind you in a good way that's not simply for fame or simply for being charismatic, but it's actually because Asha tries to bring the best out of the people around her. It's definitely something where I just feel like the climax of the film really shows that, but by this time in the film, people have probably already said to themselves, okay, I hate this movie, it sucks, blah, 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 and nothing can change that. Um, and I mean, yes, when you're that deep into the film, it's almost the end, and, if you already feel turned off by everything you've seen up until then yeah, I highly doubt the climax, even though it is one of the most important parts of the story, um, is going to change your mind with that, unless it does something that you totally didn't expect. And we've already established that this film is not supposed to be surprising or groundbreaking in any way. It's just supposed to be a stereotypical Disney adventure. But um, the thing is that as a celebration film, I wasn't expecting it to be groundbreaking. I wasn't expecting it to do something totally different. Um, but maybe that's just me. Maybe people who were looking at this even as a 100th year anniversary thing, maybe they were expecting things to really be different this time around. I mean, while I don't agree with that prediction, I mean, it was definitely something that, I mean, I can see why people would hate this film even more if it was something that specifically they were looking for something totally different out of, if you know what I mean. But beyond that, I just wanted to say a little bit about that and side characters. I forgot to mention this. Um, the side characters, specifically of Asha's friends, I know a lot of people think they're just bland and forgettable. I do wish they would have showed more personality other than just, the introverted girl, the one who's just a jerk the whole time, the the not all there in the head one, um, and the normal best friend. I do like the representation though of the one character who has to use the cane to walk. Um, but moving on from that, I think all those side characters, while it would have definitely been better if they would have been a little more developed personality wise, I do also think that they served as a good way to show that Disney princesses can have, more than just one best friend for one, and that best friend or those friends in this case can be supportive but also a bit unpredictable. We know one of them does try to betray Asha, and by the end of it, um, we can assume that she forgives him for doing that. But the thing is that it's definitely not something where I feel like the friend group that Asha has was something that deterred the film from its message. I feel like specifically Asha's relationship with her friends was specifically put in there probably to allow allow finally a Disney princess to feel a little more normalized, but also again have people surrounding her that could give her support while not taking the spotlight away from her. Um, but I mean, that's just my opinion, but it's definitely something that I felt like Asha brought the best out of them, other than, of course, the one that betrayed her. Um, but even with the person that did betray her, it wasn't because of something that she specifically caused, I don't think. It was Magnifico and the fact that he was being manipulated, um, and he was also manipulating the guy that betrayed Asha. Um, it was definitely something where, I mean, it's not like it wasn't foreshadowed. There was that line about how he said it's a big promise to make that a wish won't hurt anybody. But I highly doubt people are even paying attention enough to this movie to be able to quote it in any way. So maybe people don't care about that. But that's just a piece of evidence I wanted to bring up. Oh boy, this has gone on for too long. Um, but I hope you guys understand my take on the movie Wish a little better now. Like I said, I like it, but I'm fully willing to admit that this was not a good film. To be completely honest, I don't think this is Disney's worst, though. That belongs to Chicken Little. But whatever. Um, I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, please continue the discussion in the comments. And I plan on doing definitely more movie reviews starting next year. So hopefully, I'll see you more for discussions in 2024. Until then, bye bye.